Welcome to the new video about Seven Knights Rebirth, and today I wanted to share with my observations about the late game and how meta is changing there, about the characters which are going to be more useful or not that much, what kind of struggles I have, what kind of issues are they, and so on and so forth. So yeah, let's talk about it. When we're going to have a look first of all at my list of characters, you can see here that I have T2 Teo, all the rest are pretty much like T0 with couple exceptions being at T1, some T2, yeah, quite a lot of legendaries, and there are still quite a lot of them are in a process. It takes quite some time and it's not that easy to upgrade even their stars or unlock their gear slots. It is what it is. But yeah, overall, we are talking specifically about PvE aspect, because PvP it's a whole another story, as I'm always saying about it. Here, meta is shifting pretty much instantly from the very beginning, and you're starting to see more and more players using CC characters, which is really annoying sometimes, not gonna lie. But yeah, that's the reality. We're going to talk more about PvE aspect of the game, about the story mode, about the infinite tower, tower trials. It's another topic as well, but it's, let's say, the same infinite tower, which is more difficult, and you can apply certain debuffs for your team to receive at the end more rewards. That's the purpose of it. So let's talk about the story mode first of all. What kind of issues I have? Well, first of all, I didn't work on my nightmare. It is what it is, but we're going to the normal story mode, and here you can see that I was able to clear everything up to the last one stage, from the first page, from the first adventure to the maximum amount of stars. How I was able to do it? Pretty much easy, because yeah, I was able to get myself quite some DPS units, which are really decent, and they're helping to deal a lot of damage, to clear waste real quick without any issues. So when you're able to equip them with proper gears, when you're able to unlock all the slots, and when for some of them you're able to work a little bit on their skills to upgrade, it's become quite an easy one. And for all the stages there was single one strat. I have one tank, basically he's providing shields and he's reducing damage which we're going to receive. I have, for I don't know, certain occasions, one healer. You may use a healer with revive ability like Yui for example, and 3 DPS units. So usually like using 2 or 3 skills for the first wave is more than enough. For the second wave, again 2 or 3 skills, and for the last wave, or some skills are going to reset from certain DPS units, or you're going to still have quite some DPS skills which you will be able to use. And this was like an easy one up to the last one stage from the first adventure. When we're going to the second adventure, which we have right now, and we received in this update chapter 20, here is a little bit of a problem. So it's not working that straightforward. Like for example, chapter 17 and 18, yeah, they were tough, and 19, but for the boss stages, for example, I was using a little bit of a different composition. I was using one, maybe on certain chapters, like 2 DPS units, and all the rest are like full support units with one CC character to control the situation on the battlefield, and that was enough. Now we're going to the last one, chapter 20, which we received in this one update. So as you can see here, I actually stuck on stage 30, and it's quite a problem here. On the second page, like stage 20 was already tough for me, and even for example for the 19, you can see that I didn't complete it even with 2 stars, but I was able to, let's say, prevail it and somehow move forward. Then here is just something. I was trying different compositions. I was going with 3 DPS units, and to support units I was going with 2 DPS units, and also instead of Yanhee, for example, I was using Kagura. I was trying to change Klahan with Yanhee to probably add a little bit of more control. It didn't help. I was going with full team of support units, like I was trying also Evan with Rudy together. They're not really working well. I mean, Rudy isn't working really well in this team composition because we have Kagura, who is supposed to die at a certain point in the battle to provide more buffs, and her passive is going to work this way, that she's going to activate additional benefits. And when you're using skill, for example, from Rudy to divide the damage which you're going to receive among all the units, she's going to receive additional hits, which you don't really want her to get because she has like 8 hits to receive, and after that she's going to die. So yeah, he's not a good fit here, quite honestly. I was trying to use Biscuit because from her passive, for example, she's going to provide, what is it, defense decrease. Also, she's able to boost our main DPS, the damage dealt to boss. Again, I'm not sure that it's working here, but at least increase weakness hit chance, which is going to increase our damage output basically. And really a huge aspect, about 20% of defense down. But yeah, Lina providing support, Biscuit providing support, Kagura is providing support, Ivan is providing some survivability, and Theo, he's for me T2 once again with some proper gears. Like crit rate, you may say kinda low, but with the skills, with the abilities from his skills, it goes up to 75%. Physical attack is kinda high. Skills all are upgraded, and this is not enough. Why is it the case? When we're having a look at the team compositions that we have from our opponents, well, first of all, the healing effects, which providing the healers at this level, at these stages, this is insane. And the main DPS which we have here, Karma, he is just crazy, like straight up, he's just destroying it like completely. And also Ray, she's really that annoying here. With her poison, with her bleeding, the amount of damage that she's going to deal is just insane, and you pretty much see the stats that she has here, so this is actually crazy. They have paralysis effects and so on and so forth. So how, in my opinion, should I deal with it? Well, probably I should switch Biscuit and use, let's say, in a free-to-play composition, yeah, Charon. But I need to work on his gears. I need to unlock slots, and it's going to take time. And he's not my main priority here. He's going to deal with bleeding effect. Otherwise, he's dying like instantly. When we're talking about the poison effect, for example, yeah, we can use probably the Lucy, because she's also able to remove debuffs, and she's providing the poison immunity. So for example, with Ray, with these two characters, we're going to deal, but still we have paralysis. So I consider that Lina is kind of important here, because Lucy, she's not really going to provide any benefits to our team, except for like healing and increasing defense parameter, reducing cooldowns a little bit. But yeah, for the paralysis, like, it's Victoria, but again, she's not going to feed the physical team, for example, and she's kind of for magical team, and you won't be able to really use her skills because you have quite some other priorities during this stage. And what we have, we basically have no characters which are going to buff our main DPS, and with the healer in the opponent's team, this is going to be a really tough one fight, or it's going to take quite a lot with the full team of healers and maybe one support, but I'm not sure that I will be able to survive it. Anyways, the feeling that I have later on, and more content I'm doing, more higher stages I'm going to achieve, and so on and so forth. I have a feeling that it's really that important to work on different CC characters, and here we're talking about Yushin, who is going to provide paralysis, and he's kind of decent overall. Kagura, new character, she's able to provide petrify effect, but it's not always working. I have a feeling that mobs here, they have kind of a resistance aspect. Yonhee isn't really enough, her sleep effect isn't that great. Chris maybe with the death effects, but you need to work really a lot on him. Who else we have except Yushin? Where is she? I was thinking about her just a second. Vanessa, she's able to also provide petrify effect, which are kind of decent. And there is Aileen, who is able to apply shock effect. So I have a feeling that we kind of need to use later on at least 2 CC characters which are going to always just keep opponents in a stun condition, like with paralysis and so on and so forth, or even 3 to make sure that you are able to deal with it and use, you know, like 1 unit which is going to buff your main DPS, and yeah, using 1 main DPS. And that's, I have a feeling, the way how it should work later on. So in my case, I'm lacking. Even he is great, but he's not able to provide so much survivability. Lina isn't really that enough, and they're just dealing crazy amount of damage. So I have kinda struggles here with stage number 30. Now when we're going to the Tower of Trials, for example, or Infinite Tower, better to say, here it's also becoming kinda tough. Like really. For example, I was able to deal with floor 110, and overall the composition that you can see here is like 2 tanks, let's say, 1 crazy tank and 3 healers. And I mean, the amount that they're going to heal is just freaking insane. It was a really long battle. I believe I was able to complete it with 1 strategy, but it took me around 500 turns. So yeah, I was able to deal with it. But anyways, floor 115. Here we have 2 Pascals, which are going to nuke just crazy. We have a character who is going to apply a silence effect, which is really annoying from time to time. And it's also really a lot of aspects which are going to be about control units and about really controlling your composition. Like here, floor 120, you can see we have Vanessa, we have Nia, we have Yushin, and they're all about control. And if I won't have like units which are going to provide immunity, even with them, I believe it's going to be a tough battle. So it's really that important to work later on your own CC team and have or 3 units which are going to provide control, or even 4 units, I don't know, and they're just going to keep their rotations and not allow opponents to do just anything at all whatsoever. In these regards, when we're talking about the stats, which we might, or let's say need pay attention and work on our gears, are going to be already specifically about stats and some substats, which is speed in our case, because when you have a CC composition, you need to have higher speed than your opponents, otherwise it's not going to make a lot of sense. Or you need to have kind of a lot of effect resistance if opponents are going to outspeed you, to have at least some chances not to get stunned or something like that. So yeah, that's pretty much my observations. That's what I wanted to share with you guys, and say that me personally, I'm starting to work more in terms of control units, and this is going to be a huge aspect. I believe I'm also going to work a lot on dupes, and in this case not really summon for new characters, but working on dupes. I have a feeling that this is also really important for the endgame content. Having everyone at T0, it's literally nothing. T2, is becoming like a mandatory one. I'm not sure that I really like that aspect of the game, but I guess with the amount that you're able to farm and the amount of summons that you're able to get for yourself overall during the gameplay, I believe it's doable to bring all the necessary characters to T2, but hey, it's RNG aspect and it's going to take some time. So yeah, as you can see, I'm working on Yushin right now. I'm working on, where is she again? Vanessa right now. I have for Infinite Tower Velika for my mage team, which I'm planning to shift my attention a little bit later, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts for now. Also, I wanted to let you know, those of you who are watching me always and up to the very end, I'm planning to cover in the upcoming future Star Resonance Blue Protocol. It's an MMORPG. I am enjoying different RPG games as well. I'm playing them, and it's going to be released on like 9th of October, I guess. There are a couple more promising projects which are going to be released in October and November. So Chaos Zero Nightmare and Dude Night Abyss. I'm waiting for them and I'm planning to cover them as well. So yeah, stay tuned. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and see you guys in the next one. Share your thoughts, share your opinions, your own experiences about the late game. How do you deal with it? See ya.